Yo, how you doing? So basically, I just woke up out of bed and I'm not looking too fresh, but I want to keep this video as raw as I can. And I have a squeaky chair, so ignore that. Just woke up from having one of the most incredible OBEs that I just had, and I had one of those for a long time. I mean, the amount of detail and the amount of cognitive ability I had within the dream itself was just unbelievable. I was incredibly switched on, and I knew exactly where I was and where my physical body was, and unbelievable stuff. Wow, where do I begin? Well, this video, I'm going to title it, what's the title? I forgot now. Ah, yes. The title is Have I Lost My Spirit Guide? As many of you know, I've had a spirit guide for some time, about three and a half years now, I think, named Cliftoft, and we meet regularly in a lucid dream where I consciously call out for him and he appears. Not always he appears, by the way. If there is something which he wants me to learn that is needed to be learned on my own at that time, and he's probably observing from afar, then that will be the case. He won't show up for that reason. But I've been kind of lying to you guys for a while now, and I'm incredibly honest. And for about 6 months now, I have not had a spirit guide. Yep. You heard me. I know. It's a shocker. And it's surprising actually how many of this same topic I receive in terms of questions from readers. You know, I've had a spirit guide and now they don't listen to me, or now they don't appear. Where are they? Have I lost them? I too felt like that for a long time, since last night. So for about 6 months, I've been trying to get in touch with my spirit guide. I've been trying to call out for him now, Cliftoft, and he just wouldn't show up. And I know that his ways are very indirect. That's the way he is, you know. His way of teaching is indirect, meaning I have to work out what lesson he is trying to teach me by myself. He can't work that out for me. That's why his methods in training and teaching are very indirect. He can show the way, he can paint the canvas, but it's me that has to walk along the dreamscape itself. I'm the one that has to find the clues and decode them. That's the thing. That's the thing with SGLD. You have to decode all these clues, and they tend to be very cryptic and indirect from your guide. This is one of the main traits that you will pick up on. And yes, I was a little bit paranoid. For 6 months I've been thinking, you know, I've been calling out for him. I mean, I know he's indirect, but this is a little too indirect. You know, it's been 6 months. Where is he? And this just keeps going on and on and on. And I've been like, wow, I'm a bit concerned. You know, how can I felt a bit of a trickster. Like, how can I teach SGLD and yet I don't have a guide, or haven't had one for 6 months? You know, where is Cliftoft? Where is he? Is he just left? You know, so I did some research, and a lot of people claim that, you know, they've had this experience where they meet a guide, they pop into your time space reality for a certain period of time, usually when you're going through some kind of upheaval or maybe an uplifting moment in your spiritual development. It can work both ways. And then they provide their assistance for however long is necessary. You know, this could be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 2 years, 3 years. And it was never really, with Cliftoft and I, it never really got past 2 months. I mean, within 2 months he would always show up, especially within 2 months latest. But basically this one was 6 months, if not probably a little bit more. And I was like, this is crazy. I mean, I'm still seeing the mirrored awakenings, which is what I call, which is in my book, chapter 8, Spirit Guided Lucid Dreaming. Mirrored awakenings are these symbols that are offered to you or offered to me in waking reality as a guideline from your spirit, showing you through numbers. You see the number 555, 444, 333, or for me it was seeing those numbers on number plates and the time on my computer, on my watch, especially the number 8, and Clifton represents that number. I'll have to go into detail about the number system in another video. So these mirrored awakenings were still showing up, and I could still feel his presence in waking reality, but I couldn't manage to summon him correctly within 6 months in my lucid dreams, and I had a few within that 6-month period. So that was a little bit of a concern. So what did I do? So this is it. This is the thing. Although this is very common to the progress and the evolution of your relationship with your guide, I can guarantee you this from experience, and judging from my last night's experience, which I'll tell you in a minute, is that it is absolutely an indirect way of them teaching you something incredibly valuable, more valuable than you can actually understand until you get to that point of understanding. I guarantee it's a lesson that they're trying to teach you. If they're not showing up right now, it's because they want you to know something. It's because they want you to learn a valuable lesson. But what that lesson is, only you, through dedication, through meditation, through contemplation, only you can work that out. Only you can understand what that lesson is. But I guarantee it's a lesson. And the funny thing is, when you work that out, once you've worked out that golden lesson that they wanted you to learn, they show up. And lo and behold, Clifton did that last night. He presented me with an incredible OBE. It was in this amazing lake with rainbows, crystal waters. There's a big pirate ship as well. And right now, my numerology year is number 5, so it's the year of freedom. And the pirate symbol is the symbol of freedom. I've also been called a pirate as well. I look like one in a book review by Bob Peterson. Thanks, Bob. If you're watching. But yeah, so all these little symbols that crop up, it's just a reminder to tell you that you're on the right path, you know. So freedom for me right now is really important, to feel spiritually free. And he wanted me to know the lesson that I didn't need to rely on him as much as I was relying on him. You know, I was really relying on him to do everything for me almost. I almost got like, I almost took him for granted. And that's the thing. What they want you to learn, I believe, is they don't want you to rely on them so much so that you are now attached to them. You have an attachment to them. It's not an attachment with your higher self. You're merging into the frequency of your higher self. That's the difference, really big difference. You're in a harmonic frequency with your higher self. There is no attachment like a marriage by contract, which states that if one of you does something or it can break. It's impossible. It's more about a harmonic frequency of trust and belief with your higher self, and that's what creates a sacred bond between you both. And it went up another chapter last night through this OBE, and I expressed all of this to him, and he expressed it all back to me, and it was like, wow, we had a real loving moment. We hugged, and I said, yeah, I'm sorry I took you for granted all these years, you know, because that's what it was, all orchestrated in such a way for those 6 months of him not showing up and throwing me these little symbols throughout the day. It was all orchestrated in such a way where I will actually come to the knowing and come to the understanding of what the major lesson was, and it was in non-attachment with him. So very fascinating OBE, very fascinating, and incredibly blessed to have that. opportunity to have that. And also I believe in my ability again as well. I mean, there was this OBE I had, funnily enough, by the way, I went to bed about 11 o'clock. I always check the time, around 11 o'clock. I fell asleep about 11:15. Then I had this OBE which seemed to be about an hour and a half long, very long OBE. Incredible, very, very detailed, the crystal waters, the sunlight, very incredible. And yeah, and then I woke up from this OBE. So that's the thing as well, always check the time when you wake up from your experiences. Many people would just probably lay there, try and reminisce, so you collect all the information first. Don't fall asleep or you'll forget. But yeah, I always like to check the time because I know for a fact that the time will say something interesting to me through numbers, which again reinforces the mirror awakenings, reinforces the number system that I have with him. And it usually, as soon as I pick up that watch, after an experience, it'll always say something like something 08 or something 28 or one of my numbers or 48, something with an 8 in it. Very interesting by the second. So as soon as I pick it up, it goes flicks to the exact time by the second of what I'm here to learn, and it's just amazing. So yeah, I think I woke up about 15 minutes later after I fell asleep. That's incredible. So to summarize, I had it felt like an hour's experience of being out of body, and yet I only slept physically for 15 minutes. So time really, really slipped. And I know a lot of Stephen LaBerge's work and dream studies, says that a dream minute is slightly bigger than a physical minute, and what they studied, but I don't believe it's so fixed. I must contest that because I've had experiences like last night which have gone way beyond the physical time in such a small space of time. I think it does exist. And another thing I want to try and contest against is that not all dreams, or lucid dreams, sorry, and not all OBEs happen in the REM stage that we so believe after 4 to 5, 6 hours. Yes, they do occur mostly in that phase after 4 to 5, 6 hours. But I fell asleep within 15 minutes, and then I got awoken by an OBE within that first stage of sleep. I know there's other REM phases that you can have these experiences in. They're not as popular, they don't really happen that often for people. But when they do, it's kind of a rare thing. But I wonder if there's a connection between when you actually have these during the night and the actual level of cognitive ability you have within the OBE itself, or corresponding to which level of astral plane you visit. And the higher you go in the astral plane, the time space reality as we know shrinks, or the time slips away basically. So that's another thing to think about and ponder on. Send in your feedback with that, guys. Have a little think about that, and let me know about what your views are on all of the having a spirit guide, or if you do have one or haven't got one, just let me know how it all fits with you, and leave your comments below. I just wanted to share with you that experience. Yes, and that's another thing. I woke up again, this morning, and then fell back to sleep. I had 2 more OBs. Couldn't believe it. But that's very popular as well, in the sense of once you have one, they just keep on coming because you now have belief. You now have belief in yourself that you can do it. Wow, amazing! I love this. I love the dream world. So, subscribe, comment, do what you gotta do. Much love to all of you lovely readers and dreamers out there. Please, let's keep growing consciousness. Let's keep growing our spirits and our connection to higher self. Every single day, make that effort to make connection to your higher self, because it is absolutely crucial for humanity. All right, much love, lucid blessings, peace.